I was really intrigued. You went through so many interesting ideas there, but the one that I really wanted to hear more about was the link between, you said the pandemic and you then said Freud and then the robot. So you talked a little bit about Freud, but can you explain that a bit more between the pandemic and the robot, and whether you see this pandemic having some kind of a similar echo effect in
Mhm.
robotics?
Okay, great. Thank you. Absolutely. So it's mostly it's the chronology that, and I've never thought about this until the last few years. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's fascinating to me that there's a sort of a gap in our history, at least in American history. When I grew up, we never talked about the pandemic. We heard about World War I, but not the pandemic. And so I'm rediscovering and looking back at that period of time. It's fascinating to me that that time after the pandemic was over was a source of incredibly rich productivity in sciences and the arts and in many different areas. And so I was struck by the fact that Freud's essay on the uncanny, which I recommend very highly. It's online and it's only 25 pages or so, but it's really rich and deep and has been very there's a huge amount of books. Many books have been written about it. But here it precurses, I think, the idea of the robot, even though that word is not invented till the following year. But it's about a story, Gothic literature, but it's about a story about an android and how a boy falls in love with an android and all the sort of doubling and mirroring and ambiguity at the root of this uncertainty between whether or not this android is human or not. And that is really at the core of the essay, and it's really at the core of this book that we're reading. So I bring that up because I think it's really interesting to think about what is the analogy today when this pandemic will evolve. And I think that I really do believe that we might be on the verge of major advances in a number of fields. That this has woken us up and shaken us out of our complacencies and shifted our assumptions in very interesting ways. And I think we're due for a flourishing in intellectual fields and across the board.